Hey everybody, and welcome back to a brand new video. I know I haven't been around for a while, but so in this video I'm just gonna be watching an animated story, and this one is I eat scorpions for breakfast to become poisonous. So basically, she is flippin' crazy. But so let's just hop right into this.
But I'm not most people. I eat scorpions for breakfast.
I knew this was how I was going to start. I knew this was what was going to happen. I should have been freaking ready, bro. I should have been ready. I just wasn't expecting it to start out this soon. Okay.
You see, my brother had an accident. He was helping my dad fix the roof on our house, but then he fell. He hit his head really badly, and the doctors thought he would die. But
Okay, so your brother died, but what does that mean? You get to eat? You just eat scorpions? Did a scorpion push him off? Was he just climbing up there, and then a scorpion pinched his big toe? I don't know.
he survived. He banged his head so hard on the ground that he's now completely brain damaged. It's hard for me to say this, but
What was that scene? Was he supposed to be like a heavy rocker? I don't understand. I don't understand at all. Still nothing about eating spider or scorpions until the
I
beginning.
don't feel safe around him. Right after it happened and he got discharged from the hospital, our parents went out to buy some groceries. They left me home alone with him, and I was listening to music in my room. Suddenly, I felt something sharp on my ankle, and when I looked down, my brother was biting me.
Oh my gosh, he's crazy! You gotta get rid of him. Gotta get rid of him. Plus, how did you not see your brother sneak up and start just munching on your ankle like that?
He bit so hard, he actually drew blood. I screamed, but he wouldn't let go. I eventually had to swing my leg back and forth so that he'd stop. It was like he'd become a
Kick him. You know what I'm saying? Don't be stupid.
wild animal. I told my parents about it as soon as they got home, and they shouted at me. They told me I was supposed to look after him and that it's not his fault, that it'll take time for him to go back to normal. Well,
Okay. Frick, my card's full. Gosh dang it. Okay. Gonna have to empty some freaking pictures. Be right back. Anyway, sorry about that, guys. I had to clear some space on the camera. So anyway, let's get right back into it.
worse. I eventually installed a lock on my bedroom door.
Okay, that's not just a lock. That's a freaking plank in front of your door. Okay? Oh, but she do be kind of thick, though. Anyways.
Because I'd woken up so many times to find him wandering into my room. It freaked
'Cause he's a freaking psychopath! You see, over here where I'm from, we don't sneak up on our sisters while they're sleeping like that. But some places very different, I guess. I don't know, though.
out so much. It was so bad that my friends stopped coming over to hang out. They said my brother was terrifying. I'd lie in bed at night listening to him screaming and laughing and banging his fists on the wall. If I hadn't been so afraid, I'd have felt sorry for him. But then I'd look down at my ankle and see the I had to do something to protect myself. I suggested they move him to a facility for people with brain damage, and my dad said that if I didn't shut up, he'd put me in a facility. Fine then, I'd only look out for myself then. If he hurt them too, then it was their fault. One day I was babysitting him, and he kept glaring at me. His eyes were rolling around, and he looked like...
Oh, he's on shrooms. You see, he be all like... Woo! Okay, I'm never doing that again.
He wanted to kill me. This had to end. I tried to distract myself by watching TV, and that's when a nature documentary caught my...
Okay, if my brother was trying to kill me, I'd just give him I just give him the Thanos stare. You know the Thanos stare, just like. Yeah, that's what I would do.
Attention. It was about scorpions, specifically bark scorpions, the most poisonous in the whole of.
So you're gonna eat them, because that makes total sense. Might as well just eat them, right? Because that's just the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The U.S. Their sting can lead to numbness and vomiting for up to 72 hours. I don't know why, but
And
after
you're gonna
watching
eat
the
it.
show, I couldn't stop thinking about it. What would it be like to be that poisonous? In that moment, I almost envied those scorpions. No one could hurt them. I started researching, and the next day I went out to try and find one. I'd never seen one in real life before, but I knew exactly where I could find them.
Fun fact, when I was like 6 years old, I was digging in this like big dirt pile that we had. And all of a sudden a freaking scorpion popped out and it chased me all the way back to my house. And now I'm scared of scorpions. Also, my mom once got stung on the foot. But that's boring.
The show said they liked citrus trees, and right down the road there was a citrus farm. I went there after school and asked.
Those are oranges, not citruses. I don't know where you get citrus from, but that's definitely an orange.
Man who owned the farm if I could take a walk around. He seemed suspicious and asked me if I was planning on stealing his fruit.
Uh-oh, it's Uncle Carl. See, I would be suspicious of this guy. You see, I'd be suspicious of this dude right here. Just look at the way. No one stands like that.
I said, no, I just want to find some scorpions, actually. He looked shocked. Then he asked me to follow him.
Whoa, did you see that person's suspicious level? That's freaking shot up sky high. This video is sponsored by water.
Led me to the back of a big shed and pointed towards the tank. Inside were dozens of scorpions. I couldn't believe it. I ran over and stuck my nose up against the glass. They looked so cool. Can I buy some? I asked him.
Yeah, they're
Buy?
scorpions.
You can have them for free. Saves me killing them later. Poisonous, nasty things that they are, he said. That day was my lucky day. He put them in.
Yeah, I'm gonna take your little scorpion. I'm not just gonna. That's what she's gonna do. I wouldn't give them to her. No way, Jose. They're my babies. Or I guess they're not my babies because I'm not a parent.
To a shoebox for me and told me to be really careful because if they stung me, I could die. I walked
Yeah,
home with the
they're the
box
most
and found an
poisonous
old fish
scorpions.
tank we had. I put them all in there, but as I was pouring them in, one of them got away.
Do you see the way she was pouring? She was pouring towards herself. She was pouring like that.
Without even thinking, I jumped on it. Ooh, I heard the crunch sound and I shivered. And then I had another thought. I'd read that
She's a murderer.
you could eat them. My parents weren't home yet, and my brother was at our grandma's, so I went downstairs and poured some oil into a pan. Then I fried the scorpion and cut off its stinger.
She looked really way too happy to be just like popping that bad boy in there. But who knows? Maybe, I'm pretty sure in some places it's a delicacy. Or I don't know, actually. That was kind of crazy. I don't know.
I couldn't believe it. I was actually about to eat a scorpion. I even filmed myself. I could be
The top freak cuisine, that's what you want to win. And she was filming herself. Oh my gosh. This person's a psychopath. This person's a psychopath. Nothing you can really say about it, but that.
famous, I thought. It tasted like popcorn. I swallowed it in a few bites and waited to see if anything happened, but I felt fine.
She thinks she's gonna turn into Spider-Man. It's like. Oh my gosh.
I decided to upload the video to my Instagram. I only had like 50 followers, but still.
I have more. I have way more followers. What a nerd. I have like I have like not to brag or anything, but I actually don't know how many I have. But actually, this is a perfect place to clip. Go right there, somewhere on the screen. I'm going to put my Instagram. Just go follow me. I'm just kidding. I'm going to take that out because I'm not that kind of YouTuber.
And then later that night, I decided to try something. I crept into my brother's room when he was already fast asleep.
She's the psychopath. I should have known. He didn't hit his head. She hit her head, and then she thinks that he's going to come and kill her, but it's not actually going to happen.
His toes were sticking out of the end of his bed.
Whoa! I do not like that shot. That... Oh my gosh. I do not like this picture right here. Do I have to blur this? Blur it. Freaking foot fetish people out there.
Bit down on his big toe and waited. It was just
Oh my gosh, what the frick would you do? I'm gonna die.
a little bite. I wanted to see if I was poisonous now, but instead, something
I'm done.
worse happened. He kicked me in the face. My nose started.
Get him. Jeez. What did you get? You freaking bit on his big toe. If someone bit my big toe, I'd probably bite him too. It's common sense.
Bleeding. He didn't even know he'd done it. He was still asleep. So much for being poisonous. I just need to eat more and try again. The next morning, I woke up and I was actually craving scorpions. We had phys ed that
Gosh,
day,
it's like
and
a
the show
drug.
had said they were a good protein source. This time, I chose a smaller one. I was so scared my mom would walk in, so I did it as quickly as possible. But then I heard someone on the stairs. It was my brother. Oh no. I quickly turned the gas off and threw the scorpion in my mouth. It was still moving, and I was about to spit it out, but it was too late. It was crawling down my throat. Oh, I felt...
Oh my gosh. What? Your first instinct when you're holding a scorpion, instead of throwing it, your first instinct is... No wonder you're... Why didn't it sting her either? It was still alive. She's dead. Right there. Bam.
like I was gonna choke. I grabbed a glass of water and washed it down. Well, it was inside me now. There was nothing. So
Whoa, she
that's
just
why I started
got a
eating
bunch of
scorpions for
gains.
breakfast
Yoked.
every morning. It was too risky to cook them in the kitchen, so I decided to just eat them raw. I mean, I'd had no bad side effects, although I always cut the stinger off. I'm not that stupid. I ate a particularly big scorpion one morning, and then at school that day, I heard two girls whispering about my brother when I walked by. Even though my brother annoyed me, it wasn't his fault. So I decided to get them back for this. The next
Gonna
day, I
throw
watched
'em.
as they opened their lockers at exactly the same time. I'll never forget their screams. They echoed through the corridor, and one of the scorpions actually looked like it was chasing them. I laughed so hard. Although
Yeah, I would do the exact same thing if when I walked into or opened my locker and there was a freaking scorpion inside. Luckily, I don't have school right now because of quarantine, but you know, it's like that sometimes.
it meant I'd wasted two of them. Oh well, plenty more where they came from. It was crazy that I felt
Okay.
fine eating.
How many more does she have? She got like 5 or 6 from the one dude, and then she just wasted 2. She ate like 2, so then she would have 1 more. Is she like breeding scorpions?
I actually enjoyed them. Some people were apparently allergic to their venom, so I was relieved I wasn't one of them. My favorite thing was
That would be a completely different story if she was allergic. Just
I'd dip them in peanut butter. Their claws got all stuck together, and that way they wouldn't pinch my tongue. That night, when I got home, I found my brother in my room. I'd been so excited about taking the scorpions to school, I'd forgotten to put the lock back on my door. I caught him just as he was about to open my scorpion tank. I ran over and pulled him onto the ground, but it was too late.
That wasn't a pull, that was a push. Are you stupid? A pull is where a push. You know what I'm saying? You didn't do that. Also, since I keep looking down, is it because there's a screen that shows me what you guys are seeing, just so I can know I'm in frame and the camera's working. So, just if you guys want.
Scorpions was about to escape. Before my brother could touch it, I grabbed it, and then I felt it. It was worse than any pain I'd ever felt in my life.
It didn't sting her when she ate it, but then it stung her when she grabbed it, and like, what? I'm so confused. This story doesn't make any sense.
Palm of my hand, and then it shot through my whole body. It had stung me. Maybe I was allergic after all. Oh no, I was going to die, and my brother didn't even know how to call an ambulance. I started screaming at him, and he just laughed, and then just before I passed out, I saw him walking towards the tank. I woke up in the hospital, alone. My parents weren't even there. And then I looked over to my left, and there was my brother. But he was also lying in a hospital bed, and his eyes were closed. My parents suddenly came in and saw me waking up and started crying, and then they started shouting. They asked why I had scorpions in my room, and then they told me that my brother had been stung by one too, and he was still unconscious. This was
Oh my gosh, bro, your brother is stupid. This is just a full family of idiots. By the way, my hair does not look like that, guys. My hair is way better, but just, you know.
Disaster. All I'd wanted was to feel poisonous, and I'd ended up poisoning myself and my brother.
Yeah,
and if he didn't survive, I'd never live with myself. I was feeling okay, so I decided to take a walk and get some fresh air. I saw some familiar faces walking towards me, and then I realized who they were. It was the two girls from school that I'd pranked and their parents. They asked where my parents were. Then they went crazy. The one girl's dad started shouting at them, saying they were the most irresponsible parents on the planet, and that I could have killed their daughter. I didn't understand how they'd known it was me who'd done it, and then I remembered the video I'd uploaded. Had they watched it?
Bro, they're detectives. How did they know that? They just went back? When did she post that? That looks like a story to me, which might not. I don't know.
My parents just sat there speechless, gripping onto my brother's hands. Then one of the girls said, "See, her brother is a total freak. I bet he ate a scorpion too, and that's why he's here." My mom stood up, and I thought she was going to grab the girl and shake her. But then she turned to me and said, "You ate a what?" Then the girls showed my mom the video, and my mom looked horrified. She started crying and wouldn't even look at me. After my parents apologized...
Wait, I thought, didn't she cut the stinger off? That still has a stinger on it. Can scorpions regrow? Also, this is just the weirdest family in the entire world.
On my behalf, and the girls and their parents left, I could hear my mom whispering to my dad, "She's even more crazy. How did this happen? Call the doctor." I didn't even have time to grab my stuff and run out of there before a whole group of doctors cornered me and tied me to the bed. Then they wheeled me off to another part of the hospital. I was screaming the whole way there.
What?
Suddenly, I was in a room with no windows, and even the walls were padded. Did they think I was insane? I couldn't believe it.
You are insane. You are insane. A normal person doesn't just freaking... a freaking scorpion. Like, yeah, I just give her the Thanos look, you know, just like the...
Ironic. It was my brother who was insane, and I'd done this to protect myself, but now they thought it was me who was a lunatic. My video went viral.
You are a
Everyone
lunatic.
was so freaked out by how excited I looked as I bit into that first scorpion I ever tasted. My brother eventually woke up, and he was okay, thankfully. My parents took him home, but they left me at the hospital.
Anyways, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today's video. I hope you didn't enjoy, because I sure didn't enjoy it. But, yeah. Anyway, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.